Well, hello everyone. Fred Davies from the Wholesome Life, and we are talking about nosebleed today. We're coming to you from my home office, and maybe I can just start with a story. You see, I was a scout leader, Boy Scouts, for many, many years, and I always carried an herbal first aid kit with me because there was a need for it on many, many camps. I could tell a lot of different stories, but today I want to talk about nosebleeds. You see, one day I was in my tent and one of the boys came up to me and his nose was bleeding. He had it pinched and he said, "My nose has been bleeding for a long time today. What can you do for me?" Well, I said, "Are you ready for something? Are you ready for a real challenge?" And he said yes. And so we got a glass, poured some water in it, took some cayenne pepper, and today I just borrowed my wife's cayenne pepper from her from her spice cupboard. Just got a spoonful. That's all it takes. Stirred it in that water. I carry cayenne pepper with me all the time. In my wallet, my wife carries it in her purse. Stir it up good. I had him drink it down. I asked him if he was ready. He said he was. And I had him drink it down. Guess what happened? Yeah, it blew the top of his head off. Or he thought it did. He drank down that glass of cayenne pepper. His nosebleed stopped immediately. Took maybe 5 seconds, something like that. Maybe 15 seconds. But it was stopped by the time he'd gotten all of that cayenne pepper down in that glass of water. And it didn't start again. So maybe I could share a screen for just a second and we'll see what the options are for stopping a nosebleed, because nosebleeds are never fun. They're definitely a challenge. And that young man had had quite a few nosebleeds, actually. He'd had more than his fair share. So I want to take a minute and talk about why cayenne stops a nosebleed and how to stop it immediately if that's a challenge you have. So why does it stop it? Well, the cayenne starts immediately absorbing through the mouth, and as it's going down the throat into the bloodstream, and it balances out the blood pressure, and it gives the blood pressure a chance to start clotting, and immediately stops. That's why it stops a heart attack, a stroke in progress, and several other things. Those aren't today's topic. But we can stop a nosebleed in progress very, very quickly. I want to just change to this next slide and see what the causes of nosebleed are. And with that, just check to see if with those causes we can make a difference. First, dehydration. We were out in southern Utah, which is high desert, and southern Nevada, high desert areas. It's very, very dry. This young man was very dehydrated also. It would have helped if he'd been drinking enough water. Well, by the time he drank this glass of water and 2 more glasses of water, chasing it down to try and slow down the heat, he was rehydrated. That was the first step. The nose lining, when it's dehydrated, that's called the mucosa, it gets thinner. And anything, a bump on the nose, putting his finger in his nose, just outplaying and putting extra pressure will start that nosebleed. The other thing for older people is, in addition to that nose lining getting thinner, the mucus that lines our nose gets thinner. And if we're not drinking enough water, that can certainly be an issue. It can cause, with that thinning, some problems. Older people suffer from stiffening blood vessels. The other benefit of cayenne pepper, taken on a daily basis, is it softens the blood vessels again, naturally bringing down the blood pressure, but also preventing nosebleeds and preventing heart attacks and strokes and other cardiovascular challenges. Not the topic of this, but all of my clients know that an organ that's offline or has no power to it will also cause a weakness in that organ. And that's something we can cover on another day, how to restore power, how to use self-muscle testing to check for power in a specific organ, gland, or system of the body, and to make sure that the energy is flowing through that system to do proper healing and proper rebuilding. For older people, if they're on blood thinners or aspirin, that can have a tendency to cause more nosebleeds. And getting off of blood thinners or getting off of aspirin is a topic that needs to be customized to you with your muscle testing, your specific needs. But that is definitely something that can be done with the right process. I'm not a doctor. I can't take you off your medications or even advise that you get off of them, but I can help you learn how to get off those yourself. Allergies can also be a cause of nosebleed, and that's something that cayenne pepper actually helps with because it increases the blood flow to all the areas of the body, which has a tendency to decrease allergies. Allergies also is caused by a low functioning liver, clogged areas of the body. That's something else we can talk about at another time. Dr. Christopher's nose ointment might be one thing that would help because it has different oils in it. Coconut oil, spearmint oil, peppermint oil, little teeny bit of beeswax, and it doesn't need to be put all the way into the nose. It just dabbed it on the outside tip of the nose overnight can definitely help with the nose feeling better. Olive oil alone might be something that would help. In our house, because we live in a high desert, we use a humidifier in the winter, and if we need cooling, we use a swamp cooler in the summer rather than an air conditioner, because an air conditioner and a furnace pull moisture out of the air. And having a moist environment in the air is extremely helpful to protecting the mucus lining in your nose and in your sinuses and throat. Now, and with that, eating a good diet and taking care of the other things that are needed is the way of preventing that nosebleed. So what can you do? What might you do to actually prevent a nosebleed if that's a challenge that you have or one of your loved ones has? Drink plenty of water. That's the very first. 1 ounce per pound of body weight is a good starting place. In the summer, you need more than that. If you're not doing anything to sweat or use extra water, you might need a little less than that. But 1 ounce per pound of body weight of pure water, not sodas and things that dehydrate, but actually pure water, is a perfect place to start. Then, if you need extra help rebuilding those systems, maybe try some oil, maybe Dr. Christopher's nose ointment. Don't use drying agents. Straight water or salt water in the nose actually is drying because it's just going to wash the mucus layer away. It might be needed to clean toxins out of the nose, dust out of the nose for a moment, but it's actually going to be drying just like licking my lips, would be drying if my lips were dry. Hydrating from the inside is the most important piece of that one. Maybe a little bit of olive oil would help also. But thank you for joining me, and we'll have this topic or a topic of how to take care of yourself with herbs or with using the other things that we do at the Wholesome Life. Every week, I go live on Monday at 2 p.m. Mountain Time, which is 4 p.m. Eastern Time, or 1 p.m. Pacific. Thank you for joining us. And this is Fred Davies with The Wholesome Life. You can learn more at thewholesomelife.info, which is the webpage. You can learn how to muscle test also there. Thanks for joining, and until next time, we'll see you then, and be well.